Come on in. We got people from all over. We're streaming as well. So come on in, find a seat. Hello, hello. So lovely to see your face,
Yay.
Melanie. Yeah, and totally feel free on screen, off screen. It's real mellow today. We're streaming all over the place. So however you'd like your face to be shown, that's up to you. So no problem. But excited to have everyone here today. And we got a lot. It's gonna be real jam-packed. And so it's gonna be we're going to go swift. We're going to keep it going. So I'm going to go ahead and get my screen up. All this fun streaming stuff. All that fun technology, right? It's great, but it can make things a little wonky sometimes. So I
We're
need to
dealing
pull
with
back
it.
all my good stuff and get going. And while I'm doing that, we'll get settled in, get comfy, get ready to go. I'm gonna get this going here. This is real life, right? Real life technology, clicking buttons. Here we are.
Absolutely.
Let's see. There we go. Stuff doesn't want to present. Here we are. All right, it's happening. It's happening. We're together. Hello, everyone here. Yeah, I love that. It is to laugh, Melanie, right? That's what we got to do. You got to just have fun with it. That's what it is. So you
Absolutely.
guys see this lovely little title here, right? Where business is headed in 2024. Awesome. Okay, good, good. Well, cool. Welcome everyone coming on in. Unfortunately, for those of you who are seeing us live stream, I don't see you. I'm not going to see your comments. Good reason to come in and sign up on Zoom next time, but we're glad that you're here, you're paying attention. We're going to have a lot of good stuff happening today. So we do things a little different here. So as we step into this, I know a lot of us jump in and we jump on a webinar and we tend to multitask. Let's be honest, right? We're like, oh, I can do these 40 things while consuming information, right? Why not? I'm gonna multitask. Well, I hate to tell you this. I have a background in neuroscience, and one of the top things we learn is that multitasking is not a real thing. It's actually a myth. You can't do it. You think you're doing it, but you're not doing it. You're actually just switching really quickly between tasks. I'm also noticing my face is missing. So I'm gonna turn this light a little bit. That's life as well. All right, we'll see. I'm gonna have an angel face. That's okay. But it's not a thing. Switching those tasks back and forth is not a real thing. Neuroscience will tell us right now that that's all you're doing. You're just quickly going back and forth. You're not actually giving any single thing focus. So I get it. Some of you may not know me. You're hearing me like, I don't know what she's going to say today. Maybe I'm going to try to catch up on some emails. I'm going to encourage you to settle in. All right. Grab the water, whatever it is that's going to keep you on today, keep you comfortable. Okay. And let's create the tone. Let's trust that your choice today to come today was exactly where you're meant to be, that this is exactly what you're meant to be doing. So I'm going to encourage you to take, which is maybe not how a lot of webinars start, but I'm going to encourage you to take an intentional breath. Just one breath right now. Nothing special. You don't have to hold it. Just one that you go, I did this on purpose. So let's try it. Just good. That's it. Might have a little lighter shoulders. Settle in a little bit, relax a little bit, figuring out my lighting over here. So I'm moving around. So I stop disappearing. Let's just be present. How does that feel? Are you here? And how do you know if you're here? If you're present? All right. That's enough woo-woo for everyone today. Just want to get you started, settled in, okay? And get you going. So what we're going to talk about, where business is headed. Today's conversation is really unique. And I'm really grateful for those of you who have shown up. It's going to be an interesting conversation that we're going to have today. And you know what I'm going to do? Very unorthodox as well, is I'm going to go ahead for those of you who are like, I don't know if I'm going to stick around. I don't know what this is about. I'm going to actually summarize this session for you right now. How about that? How's that for some cliff notes, right? We haven't get started. I'm going to summarize it for you. The rise in technology has been both daunting and amazing. And it is creating an incredible pushback and call for the nuances of human interaction, compassion, and intention. I don't know how long this is going to last, but it's an area that us as heart-led entrepreneurs, what is that? People who really give a damn about the stuff that they're doing, that who they're helping, that yes, we like profit, all those things are great, but we do really care about what happens to that end user. That's a heart-led entrepreneur, okay? Not a bleeding heart, right? We're not trying to do bleeding heart, pocket poor, but we want to do heart-led. And we've been swimming in this pool for a while. So it's going to be nice to see what the environment's going to look like even this year as things are moving fast, while others attempt to come and swim with us. Because we've been doing this a while, right? It's going to be interesting to see how those transform it, how the people come in and transform it, and those who are going to attempt to manipulate it. Because, of course, we know there's always going to be that genius who's going to come and attempt to hack authenticity, scale connection, right? And I think anyone who's been on LinkedIn, especially, I'm sure it happens everywhere else too, but if anyone's been on LinkedIn, you've experienced manufactured authenticity right in your inbox with someone that goes, hey, I just thought we might like similar things. We should hang out and be in each other's network. Right. We just want to be buddies. That's why you're reaching out to me, right? There will always be someone. So it's going to be really, really interesting. And that's what the discussion is about today. So it looks like we got everyone in here. We got streaming going on. So Christina, if you mind keeping an eye on whatever that means, it looks like.
I got you.
Because it's new for us. And I'm a bit of a control freak. This isn't part of my intro, but I'm going to share it anyway. So me not seeing and knowing what's all happening, I'm stepping in, let go to the outcome. All right. Yay. So great to see you there, Change. I love it. So actually came in right in time because we're going to begin. We're going to start here now. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's drop in the chat for those of you, or if you're watching us online somewhere, comment below. You should be able to do that. Just where you're at. Let's just get used to using the chat. All right. Tell me where you're coming from. And since we are talking about business, share your your business or industry or focus, whatever feels right. It's not a pitch. You don't have to worry about your perfect pitch. But what it will do is if I understand where you're coming from, I might be able to use examples that are familiar to what you're doing, right? Yeah, we got France, we got Louisville, Kentucky. I know we got Madrid in here. I think we got South Africa in here. Wow, we've gotten global with just our small little group in here. I love it. Amazing. Cool. And I'm in Czech Republic. There we go. West England. Woo. Oh my gosh. Amazing. So we got speakers, right? We have people doing speakers. I think Melanie, we got doing voice stuff. We've got some intercultural training in here. So we have a good mix of businesses, some marketing. Awesome. Right? All of this stuff, the stuff we're talking about today, affects everyone, affects all of you. Anyone who's trying to lead a business without feeling slimy, this affects you. If you're here for slimy stuff, I'm sorry to disappoint you. All right. I'm not going to have any slimy stuff this time, but keep an eye out. Maybe we'll change our mind, but doubt it.
Probably never.
Cool. So we got good stuff in the chat. And here's the thing. I want you to keep that chat going. Share your thoughts, share your opinions, share the questions. And in fact, if you have questions, get familiar with that hand raise button. All right. Again, this is not a typical webinar. It wants to be a conversation as much as it needs to be. So have those. Christina's going to be keeping an eye on the chat. If you need anything, let me know if something comes in. Right? And here we go. So we did this already. We know where you're based. Cool. So by the way, if it's your first time hanging out with me, I am Tanya MFK. Why the MFK? Because it's much easier to say that than Marie Figueres Kreisinger. Much easier to spell as well. So I have been in business development with startups and entrepreneurs for 22 years now. And I'm the co-founder of Modern Business Mastery, which is also the host of our talk today. And a fun fact, I'm originally from California, but I do now live in Central Europe. And my background ranges from clinical immunology to studying Kung Fu at the Shaolin Temple in China. Not sure what that qualifies me for, but it did happen. I also did Ayurvedic medicine in India and working in business development and marketing across several global industries, from music to food. I can also read and write Korean. I eat habaneros whole, and that might leave you with more questions than answers, but that's okay. And that is me, mainly because I get really tired of the typical business photos where everyone's like, I'm business. So that's me in China. That's doing some kung fu. Yes, I can still do that. I just don't know for how long anymore. So I don't know how long I can keep that balance, but I can still get it up there. Just say hell it is as long. But a little bit about me. I have quite a varied background. I think even my previous slide said some stuff there. But this is what I do. It's really not about me today, but I am a person who's been doing this a while, and that's essentially why we share these about sections, right? So you go, oh, she might know some stuff. So there's me. And then we have Christina here, who's incredible. She's my partner in both business and crime. And she's the co-founder of here, Modern Business Mastery, as well as her own business, Redditus Marketing. She's our data marketing maven, holistic strategist. She is based in Kentucky, so she's stateside, and manages to be a force in keeping people visible while managing a full house of little ones. We are consistently in awe of how she does all of that. But we have combined our rebel attitudes and knack for details to flip this approach to business and create modern business mastery. Christina, do you want to say anything real quick before I just kind of go into what we're talking about today?
Yeah, we're so excited you all are here. I think Tanya and we've actually never met in person. I think that's a really interesting thing to note.
Yeah.
But we're super aligned just in how we want to serve people and how we feel business should be. So we created Modern Business Mastery just to bring how to entrepreneur, that concept, to flip it on its head, to make it anti-hustle and pro-joy. So that's what we're trying to do. And we're trying to make it affordable for everyone. So Tanya will get into a little bit about that later.
Yeah.
We have a free community and you're all invited to
Yeah, it's actually what we'll chat about real quick next because the truth. Oh wait, here's some stuff about Christina before we do that. It's fun.
Oh
She
yeah,
got three awesome kids,
just more
5 to
things.
11. Never thought she'd be an entrepreneur, but she's a natural at it. I don't think anyone really signs up for this. I think it's like the have any of you guys seen the cat distribution method? Where they explain that no one picks a cat, the cat picks you. I think it's the same exact method. Okay. It's the same exact method that happens in entrepreneurship. Because in the end, and what I tell my clients is that you didn't come in this to be an entrepreneur. You came to solve a problem. Next thing you knew, no one was solving it. Then you raised your hand. Welcome to
Absolutely.
entrepreneurship, right? That's what you did. Okay. She coaches 5th and 6th grade field hockey, gardens year round. Oh, and farmers markets are her happy place. I love it. I love it. There is Christina right there. So yeah, as she mentioned, we did create Modern Business Mastery. And really, it's a place where self-mastery is the prerequisite to business mastery. That's what we see, is that a lot of how you live, where you are, how you feel in your life is the prerequisite to your success in business, not the other way around. We live in a place, in a society, and in a belief system that has get us stuck that we will have our happiness once we have success. And we absolutely not only don't believe that, but we're able to create it in the other way. We can be happy first and then have a successful business. So we want to be that haven for the rebel entrepreneurs, those like us who dare to defy the conventional paths to success. And that's why our community is designed for the natural overachievers, those high performers, those who want to excel, not just in business, but in crafting life that has balance and impact and fulfillment. So we step up, we're challenging the status quo. We have a no BS approach. You won't find cookie cutter stuff here. We're not going to have any fantasy marketing. We're not going to promise you anything to happen in the next 3 months, because that's just not how business works, not real business. Shortcuts, yeah, sure, quick hack, not sustainable. So we focus on building sustainable, heart-led ventures that thrive without sacrificing your soul. And I think that's something we all can go for, right? So it is about long-term growth. We're rooted in passion, purpose, essentialism, simplicity. That's really the thing, right? We don't do manipulative hacks, no short-term thinking. We base everything on relationships and integrity, which is why you're here today, right? That's what we're talking about. We're talking about marketing. Let's be honest. All these things we're going to talk about are different ways that the world is marketing right now. And we're going to see what that looks like to do it our way. How do we do it in a way that's honoring each person in the transaction? And so we do work with a diverse group of entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, community leaders, but we're united by that common goal, right? We're here to create something of integrity, sustainable, and most of us intentionally small. We're not trying to be the next Google, and that's great. I have nothing against it if you are. It's just not my wheelhouse, right? And I like my small, simple. I want that. Bring in the big bank account and the small overhead. Okay, that's what I'm about right now. So we cater to those who are seeking in that same space and want to integrate personal happiness. So I will wrap up this section by saying that there is no sales pitch at the end of the session today. If you like our style, our attitude, our approach, and our way of support, then there are several ways that you can connect with us. And I'm going to drop a couple of links in there too if you want to do that. But one thing that we do is a strategy review. So you can book a strategy review session where we'll look at your current business, what's working, what's not, and we'll identify the next 3 steps to get you where you want to go. Also free, there's no pitch, no sales pitch, nothing there. It's a safe space for you. I'm going to drop in those links in the chat for you real quick. You can also join our free community. Right. So that is a community where we host sessions like this, as well as copy clinics, Nourish and Flourish wellness sessions, virtual work sprints, and much more, all completely free, all sales pitch free. It's not a gotcha. You're not going to be hounded, right? This is truly to support and serve. Then we also have our Mastery 360 program that you can work with us to co-create your strategy and implement a plan for the next 12 months while you're being supported in both private and a group setting. And it's the most accessible price for any type of personalized one-to-one coaching, right? Real support and guidance for a full year. So we do that. We have workshops and intensives. So that's the main thing. If you're at the beginning of all of this, or you've been spinning your wheels for a while in business, we also have our Ready for Profit course, which will be kicking off again in May. And that is going to help you get your idea to your business ready to make money in 8 weeks without complicated tech or mega investments. So again, we got a little something for everyone, wherever you are in your journey, at lots of different accessible prices or free, pretty accessible, right? So we got those links there for the free community. If you want to just chat about some of the things we talked about, or you want a strategy session, just know that all of these come with no catch and no hounding. It's truly there to serve. So you will be safe. All right. But before we move on, I do have one request. And again, and it's this, and I did mention it before, but just participate today. Get in the chat, ask questions, be part of the conversation. That's what it is. So share those thoughts. I might not see everyone, but the contribution that you share in there for each other is going to be very powerful. So be the voices that we need to hear. All right. And Christine, if you have anything, just chime in at any time. You know, I'll just keep going. All right.
You're
So
good.
we're doing it. We're really diving in now. Okay, good. Yeah. And you know me, I'll go like a freight train. So you just got to yell, Tanya, like grab me. And it's like, if you were here, you could smack me around, but it doesn't work. All right. So where the heck is business headed in 2024? Well, this is the first thing I want to talk about. This is an interesting concept of marketing in general. So the first thing I want to challenge is a common perception that good marketing is presenting a polished version of ourselves. Now I'm going to say it's the opposite. Marketing is not the best presentation of yourselves. In fact, it's often a barrier that we unknowingly erect between our true selves and the world. That's what I'm going to say marketing is. It's a wall. It's actually a barrier. Traditional marketing often polishes, enhances, sometimes distorts our authentic selves or our brand's core into something that's marketable. But if I told you that this approach might actually be holding us back, then instead of amplifying our message, we're actually muting our genuine voice behind a shield of acceptability. This shield it's a barrier born out of insecurity, right? Like we all know what it's like to like, oh God, is that post going to be okay? Is that email going to, oh, what if I say that? Are they going to think I'm weird because I like this, or I mentioned that I have tattoos, whatever it might be, right? Let's be honest. There's all kinds of crazy stuff we think because we're human. And here we are, not only in our humanness, but we're trying to sell a product or run a business by doing that. And so we do this, and we show up with our marketing and our polished version of ourselves. There's a reason for that, right? So I'm not going to say now, show me all your mess, like all the nitty gritty, because I think we've all seen that too, and that goes down a whole other road of
you don't want to play there.
Yeah, we don't need to go there either. But what happens, and I think the nuance that I want to pick up in this particular concept that marketing has become a wall, is that the need to meet everybody, the need for this polished version leaves out the unique pieces that make you competitive, that make you unique, that go, oh, that's interesting. Is that guy who teaches marketing but also loves fishing? Yeah, that guy. That's much different than, oh, that other marketing guy or that marketing guy or that marketing guy or the other one. Or no, wait, Oh, the way he's like obsessed with fishing too. Yes, that one. That's the one. Because there's someone like that. So when we can have our uniqueness into our marketing and stop, washing it all out, we can have something very powerful. Because that insecurity, what it leads us to do when we're talking about marketing, imitate others, right? We just scroll through LinkedIn for a little bit. Okay. And I keep saying LinkedIn. I know not everyone's on LinkedIn. So, I mean, heck, Instagram, Pinterest, it's a bunch of parrots. Have you ever seen a flock of parrots? They're beautiful. They're gorgeous. They all look the same, though, which is beautiful. They're very loud. If you've ever been around live parrots, I've been around them in like tropical areas, but from where I'm from in California and in Long Beach, we had a zoo. Oh, God, I don't know. In the 90s, I had a fire and all the parrots got loose and thrived incredibly well in Long Beach. So we have wild parrots just all over Long Beach. And they're screechy, they're beautiful. Boy, are they loud. And that's what I feel like LinkedIn is a lot, or these places in general. It's like they're beautiful, it's polished, but oh, are they loud? And they're all screaming the same thing. We don't want to do that. We don't need to imitate others for safety. We don't need to hedge our bets instead of committing to a clear stance, right? So this is where we diversify. We go so broad. So we avoid niches. We have generic messaging. We shy away from attention, even when we're seeking it through marketing. We blend in, avoid criticism, but we also, by doing that, are avoiding their chance of remarkable achievement. So I'm not going to talk too long on this. I know I've got a little longer already, but I want you to think about a couple of memorable brands, because the memorable brands that are there are individuals that drop this shield, right? They don't just have good marketing. They have no marketing presentation in the traditional sense. They actually present themselves as they are without filters directly to their audience, right? Yeah, you're offered to something that nobody does. So let's look at a couple of these, right? Oh, sorry, here's the insecurity. I forgot I was really organized with some of these today, but like I said, I was going willy-nilly. So these are the things that your insecurity is leading you to do. That's not good for your marketing. But here we are some examples of people who are in reality have dropped this wall. So we look at something like Patagonia, right? I'm trying to think something where everyone was familiar with, right? We know this outdoor apparel company, if you're not familiar with them. They are quite renowned for their commitment to environmental sustainability and ethical manufacturing, right? So their marketing often addresses environmental issues, supports activism, and encourages consumers to buy less. Interesting, because they're selling something. They actually had a campaign called the Don't Buy This Jacket campaign. And it's a prime example of urging customers to consider the environmental impact of their purchases, right? That's what they were doing. And that approach is far from traditional marketing. Like I'm sure most of us haven't launched a program that says, don't buy this program. Although, it's a good idea, right? Some of us here, right? But it's far from that. But it focuses instead on the company's core values and mission. And because of that, out of all the mountainy jacket places you might think about, Patagonia is probably pretty embedded in your brain. Regardless of how you feel about it, whether you like it or not, you probably know about it. Tesla, another one, however you feel about it, right? Under the leadership of Elon Musk, Tesla has revolutionized how the automotive companies have marketed themselves. Tesla's approach was very minimal. They relied heavily on word of mouth, free media coverage, and of course, Musk's personal brand on social media, whichever way you land on that one. But by focusing on innovation, product excellence, and vision for sustainable energy, Tesla has built a strong, memorable brand without traditional advertising, right? So we're seeing another way it's done. Lush Cosmetics, if you're not familiar with them, they use a commitment to fresh and ethically sourced ingredients, cruelty-free products as the centerpiece of their marketing. And they really focus on their transparent supply chain and environmental activism. So again, as we're talking about marketing as a wall, and this is what I'm coming back to, is it's this polished kind of like thing that we're putting in front that's like, oh, look, it's all perfect. But these who are going, look, this isn't perfect, and that we don't like this. And that's why we want to tell you, this is how we are manufacturing. That becomes the uniqueness. That becomes, showing how the sausage is made, if you will, that benefits their business. And so we also know a couple, I'm not going to go through every single person here, but we have a couple of people I think we're familiar who have stayed very true to who they are, and it's served them well. Brene Brown shows up as vulnerable. Clearly, that's her thing, right? But she was an author and research professor who built her brand on vulnerability, courage, and authenticity. We got Elon Musk, whose brand is being unfiltered and direct, right? Share his thoughts, make announcements through Twitter, right? Or X now. That was his thing. Or we have someone like Snoop Dogg, who has been Snoop Dogg since he's been Snoop Dogg, right? And somehow Snoop Dogg has gone from someone our parents warned us about to he has a affirmations now. I don't know if anyone's heard this. They go on YouTube and he has affirmations for kids. And it's not a joke. It's a very real thing. But that's just him being him has brought this memorable piece. So this authenticity, this confidence is magnetic. It's not just about being liked, it's about being respected and remembered. And it pushes you, hopefully, to be unmistakably yourself, right? Creating that distinct space in the market and in people's minds. So with this, how do we apply this? It's about shifting our strategy from seeking to be smart or right to simply being confident. Confidence is our unique value in our message and in the way we present ourselves to the world. This doesn't mean abandoning strategy, but simplifying it, making it something that everyone can grasp and rally behind without a 200 slide deck, right? So I'm just going to give you this. So start by asking yourself, if you want to kind of transfer, now not every point I'm going to make today is going to be this long. Promise you that, but this one was a big one. So when you're looking at going, okay, maybe I do have a wall. How do I change this? Ask yourself, does my marketing or strategy instill confidence in my business and me? Instill confidence, right? It's a different question. It's not like what pain point is it? Does it say who it's for? But I'm interested to know, does it instill confidence in business or you? Does it simplify our message or make it more direct? And if not, it might be time to strip back the layers and focus on what truly matters, which is your authentic voice and vision. All right. Yeah. And he's hanging out with Martha Stewart, right? You got that over there. Love it. All right. So that's it. Moving on. We're going to just keep moving on. And then just, stop me anytime. We're going to get through this today. I'm going to get you out a good time, hopefully. So I got three kind of concepts right now. This is number two that I'm going to kind of a little more loosey-goosey conversation. And then I'm going to go through some specific trends, just give you an idea what's going to look like today. The trends will go through a little faster because I got quick answers for you, but these are a little conceptual. So we got this and one more. So I'm going to talk about loving your competition. Okay, and this was a concept brought up by Alex M.H. Smith. If you're not familiar with him, he's known for his unique strategic ideas, and he's the author of a book called No BS Strategy. So he and I are very aligned. He actually gave a TED Talk on the concept of non-competition and the importance of businesses focusing on their unique strengths rather than directly competing with each other. So what the heck does that mean? Right? The idea can be summarized as this. You should love your competition by allowing them to shine in their area of amazingness and you doing the same. Focusing on what makes your business unique. So this involves identifying your competitors' strengths. And I like to even make it sound nicer and go, they're my niche neighbors. Not my competitor. There's a niche neighbor. We're neighbors in the same niche. Okay. You like that, G? All right. That's all they are. And deciding not to compete in the areas of their strengths. And what I find very interesting about this is a simple process of elimination. So we can look at our competitors and go, oh crap, they deliver pizza faster. 30 minutes? Can I do 25 minutes? Oh, their ingredients are, I don't know, straight from Italy. Can I have it from a smaller town in Italy? And we just keep kind of racing to these details that aren't necessary. Because in the end, I could go, you know what? Why don't you do 30 minutes? Why don't you be from Italy? I'm going to do 45 minutes because I don't know, this isn't even a thing, but hand bake it, whatever that means, right? We warm it with our magic. I'm going to go the opposite. You know what? You focus on being quick. I'm going to focus on being local. I'm not from Italy. I'm going to be local to here. I'm going to support, our local farmers. That's what I'm going to do. or I'm gonna focus on every single pizza being handcrafted and it takes an hour and a half, right? But we get to find how we can shine if we just stop. Or you might go, oh, we're real similar. There's a lot of similarities. And then you can go, okay, where do I shine? What do I do best? And of all this, where could I do better? If we're both offering 30-minute pizzas, could I be faster? Maybe we could be nicer, maybe have shinier cars. I don't know. But I love this idea because I feel like it's a different angle of looking at what your potential niche could be, what your focus might be, while also elevating you and separating you from your competition. It's really, really easy. It's about going, hey, you do you. I think you're good at that. You should keep being good at that. And that's it in a nutshell of what loving your competitors is. So if you want to look at this in action, I know, Chenge, you've seen this one before, but if you want to look what this might be in action, look at who your niche neighbors are, right? Start by listing them out. Just make it real tangible, right? Who else is serving your target market? Maybe you're not sure. And if you go, nobody does what I do, I love that. That's great. But if nobody does what you do, then they're choosing something else than what you do right now. And that may also be a competition, right? I always give the story of like when the iPod came out, I didn't need one. I had plenty of CDs. And I was like, I don't need that. I got CDs. Why do I need this iPod thing? It's CDs. So even, I didn't have an iPod, and there was another iPods competing at the time, but my competition or their competition was CDs. I understood CDs. I got it. I was a very late bloomer when it came to Apple products. I apologize for anyone appalled by that. So that's what we want to do. We want to go, who else is serving the market, and analyze their strengths. For each competitor, look at their strengths. What do they excel at? What are their offerings? We can share this slide later too. We'll have it in the group if you guys are in the community. Because these are something you really go through this exercise. Identify your unique aspects, right? What can you do that no one else can do? And decide where to let them shine. And essentially by doing that, you're creating your own micro monopoly, where you're in a hyper specific position to help the exact right people that are just for you. So that's that part right now. Actually, I said 3 things. I only had 2. So at this moment, before we jump into all the trends, the ins and outs of everything that's going on today, just right now, what's your biggest takeaway? Like drop that in the chat. Biggest takeaway just right now, whatever resonates or you like or gave you an aha. Let's just look 30 minutes in. What do we got? They might even have a slide for that. Oh, look, I don't. I do have one more thing. Oh, I'm all over the place. I'm getting my second wind. It's like it's 7:30 at night for me, everyone. So I had dinner. I was getting the sleepy vibes, and I was like, oh, I'm right back. I'm right back. So we got some stuff in the chat here. Let's see. We got some stuff. Confidence and authenticity trumps shiny stuff. Yes, it does. I love it. Loving your niche neighbors is great. Yeah, I love it. And that's the thing. Is there
Jose shared love the be authentic, not right approach. The authentic, right? Yeah, love that.
That confidence and not right. Because here's the thing, if you've ever met, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to have fun today. Have you ever met a confident idiot? Right? Like somebody, yeah. And you're just like, how? And then they magnetize so many people. And you're just like, it's just mind boggling. Imagine that confidence in the right hands. Right? Like it's almost like we're too smart for our own good. So we go, oh, I don't want to be like that guy. So then we play small because that seems more respectful. But the world misses all of this. And we have a lot of great things to offer that are uniquely us. So yeah, Melanie's got collaboration. Need to look for others and not get knocked back. Find the parallel people that can raise you up and feel the same. Yes, and that's exactly what this next slide is here. And I'm going to go ahead and share. I'll be real quick with this one. So you seeing this right here? Yeah, radical collaboration. So that's the third kind of main thing before we go into the trends is radical collaboration is the next step. There are so many ways, especially in entrepreneurship, for us to raise each other up. You know, in my world of business coaches, I don't need to be in competition with other business coaches. There are people of different areas and different focuses than I do. And there are amazing things that we can do and build together. There are people that we have no connection in direct competition, yet we can come together to support them. We do this actively in our community. We have copywriters who come in and support our community. And in turn, we allow, we promote these people to our community. This radical collaboration, the benefit of all, this is going to be where you're going to see people really step up and grow and shine this year. And I don't mean the summits where we've gathered 75 people. I think all of us have seen those things. This is real, true servant leadership, right? Coming together to serve and lead and serve. And so this is just a quick note I want to throw in, that this is what I'm seeing more and more become the powerful thing for those who are executing it correctly. Again, there's always going to be someone to come in and hack authenticity, right? Oh, if I have 5 people, what if I have 100 people? And then I'll get all these people. Stop. That's short-term thinking, right? That's the stuff that doesn't pay off. So those are the 3 big shifts I want to talk about. And then we're going to go into now some trends. There's some specific trends. There's a little markety. It's going to get businessy in some things. Anything you're not sure about, just raise your hand, shout out. We got a small enough group. You're fine. So we good? We're going to go, Christina? You think we got this? We're good? Okay, awesome. Oh my. This is your part, Christina.
This is my part. I'm going to talk about AI.
I was like, quick. This slide was not here earlier. All right, go ahead. Let's kick off with some AI.
We're going to dive in.
Messing with me.
Yeah, no. You have a lot to say about AI too. So you're going to need to share some things with us. But AI is everywhere, right? We've heard about all the things AI. It's going to take our jobs. It helps us do our jobs, all of the things. What we want to share with you all today is the concept of using AI as a tool. So it's important for us to figure out how to use it in our business. It's not the end all be all, but it's there for us it can make business more efficient. It can help us do things more accurately, get information more accurately. There are different things that it can do for us. So it's worth us looking at it and deciding whether it has a place in our business. Or not, right? So Gartner is a customer, they do a lot of surveys looking at buying behavior and trends across the world. And they reported that by 2027, 20% of brands will make the active decision not to use AI. They're like, we don't do it. We don't use chatbots. You're always going to talk to a real person. That's a decision, right? Because they've weighed the fact that, okay, if it's a business that has customer service inquiries, they can scale with humans, right? Some businesses are going to say, no, we can't scale. We need chatbots to help suss out things, and then we can have humans respond to the certain questions. So you all get to make that decision in your business, how you use AI, to what degree, and all of those things. And I think that's a really important thing to think about. Yeah. And again, it aligns with your brand, right? So we were talking about earlier, with Patagonia, and they give back, they're sustainable, right? That aligns with their brand. You make choices that will help other people understand who you are and what you do. And using AI to a certain degree can help them experience you in a different way, right? Do you have anything to add to that, Tanya?
No, I love that. I love that example of that specific choice. And again, it's not a judgment call, I think, on anyone's end particularly. It's more so going, where will we choose to stand on this, and how does it align in the brand? And I think a lot of us could see both sides of that. I think if I knew, like, I'll always get a real person, that sounds really awesome. And then the flip side of somebody else's business could say, you'll always have help. Maybe it's because of AI, but you'll 24 hours. Maybe that real person is 24 hours. So you can flip this either way, but remembering that it's a tool and not a replacement. Right. I think that's a big part of it. Are you going into that a little more, Christina, as well?
Yes. Yeah, okay. For sure. So for example,
if you need to move slides or something.
Yeah, you can move the slide one, please.
Okay.
Thank you. For example, if I'm working on, which I've been doing a lot lately, Zapier, I'm connecting our different systems, working on automations. I need help and I need it now, right? So I don't want a chatbot to answer my question, or maybe I do want them to answer it so they can get me to the right person. I don't want to have to wait for a person, right? So there are different use cases. And I love this quote from Ann Handley. She's a copywriter. She wrote a great book called Everybody Writes. I think the second edition just came out recently. But she says, you can't give a generative AI tool to a terrible writer and expect ridiculously good results. Is AI powerful? Yes. But is it magical? No. But you know who is magical? Writers. business owners, content creators, you all on this call, right? Because we writers fueled with AI is why she calls this period the Great Writing Renaissance. So I used to do Salesforce.com implementations, and we would be training the sales teams. I would always say, garbage in, garbage out. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to put in dirty data with the names unformatted and the numbers all crazy, you're not going to get a good output. It's the same thing with AI. And that's one of the most important things for you to understand is we have to understand how AI works and how to prompt it and how to use it to our advantage. So that's kind of what we're going to go over briefly here today.
Yeah, it's like money doesn't make a person terrible. It just amplifies the terribleness that was already there. And so
Right?
it's the same thing with
Money's a
AI.
tool too, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a tool, and money is a tool. AI is a tool, and so you got to learn to use it as a tool. You have to, just like any skill, you have to get skilled at a tool. You can hand anyone a hammer and a nail, and eventually they might hit the nail. But it could be messy. It could be all over the place. You might bend it. But someone who's skilled is gonna go one time and it's done. And that's what we're looking at when we're using AI. It's about learning that skill and remembering that it is a skill and it requires, as of now, still requires humans. And as you were saying earlier there, and I said this in a blog, I think a couple days ago, but AI might be able to tell me it's something about marketing, but they're not going to be able to use a story of, they're not gonna be able to quote what my grandma used to always say, right? They're
No.
not going to be able to tell you how I felt in 5th grade when I was nervous and how I can use that story to tell you the rest of what I want. AI can never do that. Can't do that. I should say never, who knows? But right now I can't do that.
Right now.
Choose
Where
my
we're at
words
right now.
carefully. Oh yeah.
So this quote is basically saying by 2025, Gartner is reporting that 30% of the outbound messages are going to be generated by AI. So when we think about outbound, that's more traditional forms of marketing. So that could be, it's where you are reaching out to people. You're putting in a message out to them. So it'd be a television ad, a radio ad. Remember the days of cold calling? We still get cold calls, right? And you look at it and you're like, no, I'm not going to answer that. Cold emails where you can pull it up and you know immediately, like this was not meant for you. It wasn't customized. They don't know you. All of the things you just delete, right? As this approach becomes more common, humans are going to continue to become more skeptical of the messages, right? You and I already feel skepticism with a lot of marketing in general, I would say. So this is just a call for you to double down on your messaging. You have to have a unique point of view, a unique differentiator, and you have to be able to communicate that so that you can stand out from all of these messages. And if you are still working on your messaging, I would say the first thing you want to do is get to know your audience's pain points. What are they struggling with? Also, what do they believe? What do they believe to be true? What do they need? And better yet, how can working with you make their life better? That's the most important thing. How can your service or your product or whatever you have to offer give them a better experience in life? So notice.
I love this too. Sorry, I was going to throw this in there.
Yeah, go
How
ahead.
do they become a better version of themselves with your product?
Mm-hmm.
A better version of themselves. Even if the tool doesn't help something that seems to be about them, when they use it, how do they become a better version of themselves? If that saves them money, or time, which means now they're able to spend more time with their family and they're able to become a better dad or mom or whatever that might be, it's a better version of themselves. If you can learn to connect those parts, that's the golden business. That's the thing. It's not some hacky marketing nonsense.
No. And you notice how important strategy continues to be, right? Like AI can't tell us what to do next, but it can help us be more effective when we decide what to do next, right? It can help massage our writing. And we'll get into some specifics later. This next one. So again, this should make you feel better. Neil Patel, he's big in the digital space. He's saying 94% of the time, human written content outranks AI content. And since ChatGPT came on the scene in November of 2022, we've seen a ton of AI generated content. But Tanya mentioned this earlier, it's from an expert perspective. It doesn't have like grandma's recipe. It doesn't have that one story when you were embarrassed on stage. We don't see much real life experience infused into the content anymore. And you can tell when something is generated fully by AI because the
It's
chatbot says,
very encyclopedia-y.
yes.
I like to make up words.
And they
Rather than
use
having like depth or opinion. Yeah.
yes. And they use a
And
lot
this,
of oddly
we're in
placed
an age
emojis.
where, yeah, we're in an age where that opinion, that uniqueness, again, this is what I'm coming back to, is that humanness that only you can bring to the table. It is more important now than ever for you to dig deep and really find and hold that. Whatever that means for you. For some of you, it may be very heartfelt thing. For some of you, it might just be going, you know what, maybe I am more sassy and I need to be comfortable with that. Whatever version that might be online, this is what we're saying is that they are powerful tools, but they will not replace you. And in fact, the more humanness that you learn to pull out right now, the more successful you will be when it comes to everybody competing at the same AI. When everyone's got the same chatbot they're competing with, you will stand literally shoulders above beyond to create something powerful.
Absolutely. And I think another point is, along with that, in your content, you can talk about your experiences, you can share anecdotes, you can share case studies, data, anything you can do to prove that you're a real person with a real perspective. That's how you can outshine any other businesses that are relying on AI copy. Jose, for example, makes the most delicious salsa in the world, and it's his family's recipe. And he also makes amazing bourbon sauce that combines his heritage from Mexico and from Kentucky. And like, he could talk about that recipe. He could talk about his family. He can talk about Jalisco in Mexico and how that all comes together in his flavors and what it would feel like being there. All
I'll
of
send
those
you my
things.
address, Jose.
I'm like speaking Tanya's language over here
I'm
now.
like, okay.
I'll share a link. Thanks.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
share a link, share a link. But see, that is what can set him apart from the Kroger brand or the frog
Mhm.
salsa that's in the store or the Red Hot, Frank's Red Hot, whatever. That's real stuff, real important, right? So these are just the main three things that I want you all to think about when you're using AI. Sorry, I gotta get my notes. Okay, so you need to familiarize yourself with the AI capabilities. You need to figure out whether you want to use it and how you want to use it. And I would say that if you want to stay relevant, this is an important point. If you want to stay relevant, and your ability to be relevant to someone generally has a direct correlation to them being able to pay you money, right? So it is important to be relevant. You have to have a baseline understanding of the technology so that you can make the decision about how you want to use it. Do you want to use it to write your blog post? Do you want to use it to create your schedule? Whatever it is. And how you can figure that out, go to trainings like this. Watch some YouTube videos. In our Mastery 360 program, we do trainings every quarter where we focus on technology, where we're talking about AI. We're talking about all the different business platforms and what might be best for your business.
Mhm.
And again,
we did a training actually for anyone who's actually listening to this now, whether you're seeing us streaming, you're here right now, or watching the replay, go ahead and comment wherever you're finding this. ChatGPT, comment ChatGPT, and I will send you the link for the replay of our basic training of ChatGPT, if that interests you. All right. And how to use it from a business standpoint without being sleazy. So just throwing that in there.
And basically the idea with number one is you need to get up to speed so you can choose, so that you can make sure that your use of ChatGPT or AI or whatever is aligned with your brand and it's a business choice, right? So the second thing is remain authentic in your content and share your point of view. We've kind of already talked about that. Show off your personality. This is another thing we talked about in the training Tanya was just mentioning. You may have heard of GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. That's the new SEO, Search Engine Optimization. And GEO, what it does, so SEO basically shows you results when you're searching for something, and you get to choose what you want to click on. GEO curates all the content across the internet and kind of gives you an answer to your query. It's almost like a mini blog post. And you're going to see the rise of zero-click searches where people aren't even going to be clicking into your things anymore. They're just going to see the answer up there that you may have been a part of. And we're still figuring out how that works, right? But that's
we're figuring it out. But I think the important part here, and that Christina's really drilling in, is that regardless of where you stand on it, if you're going to say no, make sure you know what you're saying no to. And if you're going to say yes, make sure you just either way need to understand what the rules are. And this is a big shift. this is a huge shift potentially. Well, I'm not saying potentially. Maybe we don't know how soon, but it's a huge shift on how we do business. Because the business used to be, you search for me. If I get good searching, you come to my website, and I got a whole funnel laid out. But if now the search says, let me just summarize what these 8 places are going to say, no one's coming to the website. So what's going to bring them there? How are we differentiating ourselves? The game is changing, everyone. Like, you guys are changing, and it's going to be exciting if we stay aware, but not scared. Right? And that's the thing, is that we have powerful ways to still show up the way that we are and who we are, and let that be our strength while using AI as that tool.
But the really, really good news is that if you're already creating good content, so GEO is going to force us to write the best page on the internet about the topic. And there's a man named Andy Crestadonia. He runs Orbit's agency. I think they're out of Chicago. And he has said that for years. If you are writing content that is authoritative, relevant, contextual, you have statistics, you have evidence, you have videos, you have case studies, you're doing interviews. That's what GEO is looking for. So keep doing that. Double down on creating really good content. And know that your point of view is super important. It's the most important thing. So that should give you even more confidence to kind of go full in on sharing yourself.
Yeah. And to not just say, let me give you a generic idea of what meditation is, but let me tell you what I think about
my
meditation,
version,
how I experienced
yes.
it, and those little pieces, and this is a beautiful shift in this landscape, if you will. As I'm saying, hey, it's changing. We may not do it the same way where we're landing on the website. And in the same breath, Christina said, yeah, but it also means there's a push for more in-depth, authentic content. Because it's going to be able to filter the surface stuff. So you can see all these changes are moving in interesting ways where, again, if we're willing to double down on this, on the uniqueness that is us, which is really a beautiful place to be. This is where business, I think, can be a gorgeous thing. It may have been uncomfortable before, but now it's going to be our superpower.
Yep. Absolutely. And these are just some ideas for you all, how we use it, use cases, how I've seen clients use it. If you have a way that you love using AI, drop it in the chat. Let's learn from each other.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you want me, are we ready? Keep going? Okay,
yeah.
we got that. Okay. Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, so if there's any takeaways so far, throw that in, or any in action this is inspired. I think G's already looking up GEO. Maybe he's partial to it. So he's got that going. But it's interesting stuff going on. So now with the kind of last 30 minutes that we got or so, I think I'm going to swiftly start just going through some subtle changes that we're noticing in the trends of, like I said, business and marketing as well. So we're gonna jump into it and see what comes out, what we get to. So we're going to do this a bit of like what's in, what's out. So what's out? What's out right now is reach. For those of you who've been doing this for a while, reach was the thing. Oh, cast the wide net, get as many people as you can. If you've been in this industry long enough, especially if you've ever been around sales pods and basically cold sales, it's a numbers game, right? Just as many calls out as you can get. One of them is going to come back and buy something, right? Out. We're done. It's not working anymore. And in fact, I love, this was a couple years ago, but I think it was 2 years ago. Merrill Lynch, kind of a big company, right? May have heard of them, might have seen their building somewhere. They're huge. Okay. In case this is really not familiar to you, they're a very large company. They started changing the outreach. They're no longer letting their SDRs or sales development reps do the cold calls. And this was a big deal because this has been the industry standard for years. And they're going, well, people don't like it. That's weird. So weird. People don't like just being called out of the blue and manipulated. And so they have been making a shift. And so we're seeing this wide net. It's not the way. So what is in? Detention. Focusing on what truly capturing the interest of those that encounter your brand and making every interaction count. Right? So this again is going, how do I bring attention to them? And again, how do we do that? Capturing the interest of those who actually matter, right? Those that you encounter that you go, hey, maybe this is interesting to you. Instead of, hey, by the way, I got your attention. Hey, see me? Okay, hear me out, real quick. Instead of doing that, we're just going to go, interesting? Yeah. And they'll go, yeah. and they come, or they go, not for me. Cool, go on. Why? Because deeper engagement leads to stronger conversion rates. Imagine that. People who feel cared for, people who feel like you are actually invested in what they are doing, convert. They say yes. All right. Same way a lot of people start dating or getting married. When I feel that the other person cares about me, I might say yes. And it's much more powerful than shallow reach. So, what does that look like in action? It looks like focusing on creating content that resonates deeply with your specific audience rather than aiming for viral fame. There's plenty of ways to hack virality, right? And in fact, I think I'll use this moment because I did want to interject this one. I don't mean to pick on I know we're streaming on LinkedIn. I don't mean to pick on LinkedIn today, but here's this where we are. All of those in pods, the LinkedIn pods, right? Where everybody's let's get together and we're all going to post on each other's stuff and we're going to comment on each other's stuff and we're going to get these big numbers and then it's going to go viral. It's garbage. And let me tell you why. None of the data, right? And this is what Christina, that data does not tell you anything. Was that post a good post? Or was your group just really good at commenting because they're helping you out? You don't know what's working. You don't know what's not. You don't know if this is actually attracting any potential clients or customers. All you're going is like, if I build it, they will come. Not so much, because if you can't deliver on it, you don't even know who the right person is. So let's not do content for that. So let's design things like lead magnets that offer tailored support and that help with our unique challenges. You're not going to get 7,000 people probably to download it, but you might get the 10 exact people that need it, the ones that will show up. And then when they know somebody else goes, this is so good, let me tell you. And they tell it and they share it with their friends, right? So we want to measure success by the depth of interaction. The depth of interaction, hear that, the depth of interaction, not surface level stuff. And the meaningful feedback you receive. That's also an important word, meaningful feedback. A lot of people share their opinions, does not mean it's meaningful. So what does that look like? Blog series that address niche specific questions, right? So, you might have something that's hyper specific to a particular area of speaking for one group of people. And then you might speak to your other group of people just on their unique niche. So instead of creating a generic piece that's going to hopefully encapsulate all of the different people with speaking, he can go and say, look, right now I'm just talking to this vertical. And we're just going to talk about people who are speaking in their corporate spaces. Or I'm going to talk about people who are trying for a TEDx talk. And I'm just going to talk to them and it's going to be okay. And it's going to be more deep with that conversation. And if you're not having a TEDx talk for that time, that's fine. You'll listen another time. It's okay. We don't have to capture everyone at every moment. It looks like interactive quizzes that are tailored to your audience interest or targeted social media ads, obviously with, very specific details. So again, it might well look different for different people. Personalized email campaigns, based on their activity. This is just where we start to go, what does it look like to have attention over reach? And what it means is by being intentional with who we're speaking to. So what else is out? Transactions. Transactions are out. So I think most of us who have been in the heart space for a while, we get it. Like, we don't prioritize sales over relationships, right? We're not treating customers as numbers, but it's tough because when we find ourselves in those moments where maybe the wallet's getting light or the pipeline's getting slow, we start to go, and we focus on the money. And those tactics that are there that promise these big things, promise only most times than not, it can be easy to fall over to this and start to go, I just got to get people. I just got to get, this is where are they at? And where do I find more clients? And I get that question a lot as a coach, as I should, because that's what we're looking for. But then I go, we're asking the wrong question. Because there isn't a bucket of people that are like, I'm a potential client. We all hang out over here. They're not. They're humans. They're humans. And they're not numbers. So we need to have conversations with them, even if that conversation is a landing page. So what is in? Connection, building genuine relationships, right, with customers, leading to loyalty and long-term business. We are thinking about the long game here, not the short run. There are a lot of marketers and coaches and things out there that will sell you quick wins. Fine. I just wish they would call them quick wins because they promise them as long-term strategies and they're not. They're quick wins. So what we want is lasting connections. We want to play the long game. We want to foster trust because we're going to be in this relationship for a while. We want repeat business. My clients stay with me for years. And it's not necessarily because I'm so amazing, it's because I'm so dang invested in what they're doing. And I don't know, they're going to be hard pressed to find somebody that cares as much as I do about making sure that they're successful. That's the depth of the relationship, right? It's more sustainable than the one-off transactions. That's the truth. All right. Oh, no worries if you got to go. We got a replay. Got a replay. Listen, stay unique. I love it. So what does this look like in action? Prioritizing those real meaningful relationships, right? Engaging personally, hosting intimate events and workshops where we're saying, hey, it doesn't matter how many people sign up, the right people will be here to listen. Highlight that real value of our products and service, what they do and bring to people's lives. So that might look like personal replies and comments to DMs. Like, I like to just simplify this. Like, it sounds real big, but it might be as simple as this. Just reply to somebody, right? Don't hack it. Don't have a bot do it, right? Maybe you do virtual coffee chats or Q&A sessions, right? Maybe you have a customer appreciation events or loyalty programs. It might look like something as simple as that, okay? What else is out? Silos. The lone wolf mentality makes everyone either competition or a prospect because I'm the only one here. So they're going to buy or they're not with me. That's out. As we talked about earlier, radical collaboration, that's what's in. Teaming up across different areas of expertise to innovate and solve problems together. Remember in the beginning, we said we're just problem solvers. That's all entrepreneurs really are. We didn't sign up for this. We just got annoyed by something and tried to fix it and then realized no one else was fixing it. And there we are. Why do we do this? Why is this better? Because the collective expertise sparks innovation and solutions that isolated work simply can't achieve. So if you are not in a group of other entrepreneurs, if you are not showing up in a space of community, if you don't have a coach, whatever that is, I'm not here to just tell you to get a coach, but whatever it means to have a connection with others outside of your silo, you are setting yourself up for slow progress. I'm not going to say failure, but slow progress. And it doesn't have to be that way. And it doesn't have to be so hard. So get in collaboration, embrace the power of working together, partner with people, businesses that complement yours. Right? Share those knowledge, share those resources, create collaborative projects. There's so many amazing things, and there's so many of us. And the numbers, we know the numbers aren't good. It's like, what, 3 years, 1% of businesses are still in business, and then it gets worse. The numbers get worse after that. So what does it look like? Maybe it's joint webinars or workshops. Maybe you're co-creating content or you're cross-promoting, helping yourself, helping each other. I got a client who stayed with me for 4 years, maybe. And it was from somebody else who was sharing my stuff. She's like, oh, I love this. I'll share it for you. And she shared it in some of her groups and someone came, a long-term client from that. So this can be very powerful, right? Share those resources. Maybe you all have certain tools you can share or think, hey, I got that. Don't worry about it. I'll help with that. You do this. Community service projects, all kinds of stuff. I'm trying to move us along here. So we got time though. We're okay. We've got good time. If I start going too fast, just yell at me. So segments. If you've been in marketing long enough, been in business long enough, you've heard about segments, right? Dividing your audience into different tags or categories, right? Although we're saying it's out. Well, the part of segmenting that is out is segmenting people into these broad categories without personalization, okay? So what's in is people, right? What's out is segments, what is people. Treating each customer as an individual with unique needs and preferences, okay? So what does that look like? Let's just get a little more specific. So segment might say women, men. Okay, that's a very broad category. And all the men in this group and all the women in this group definitely are not the same, right? There are more nuances and details in there than that. So when we can return back to who are they as people, we actually simplify business a lot. And I think we can put our expectations a lot better and nuance. And we stop assuming that these broad terms are going to be the clarity of our business and what our customers need. Because the personalization and human-centric approaches cater to those individual preferences, right? And they drive better customer satisfaction. One of my favorite examples I give clients a lot is, they go, oh, I work with moms. Well, okay, if anyone's a mom here. Are you a Pinterest mom? Are you a sports mom? Are you a punk rock mom? There's lots of different kinds of moms, all right? Boy mom, multiples. Maybe you got twins or 5 or however many, right? You got 3 under 3 adult kids. Maybe your kids have been moved out. I'm a mom of adult kids. Not women and mom, but it's still broad category. There's so many different nuances. When we learn that and can speak to that, we'll have better results, especially again in this day and age. So again, in action, turn the so we want to really cater to the individuality of each customer. So there's personalized email campaigns. We know that, right? But what does it look like here? We're having more relevant offers to them, maybe more specific, maybe calling them out by name. We're customizing content. We're using that data for real specific product recommendations rather than you're a girl or you are a guy, take this, right? We're getting more specific. So people over segments. So here's a fun one. What's out? Thank God. I'm sorry anybody, but thank God influencers are out. All right, 2024. If AI has done anything for us, maybe, I don't know if it's even there, they've helped, but we'll just let them take it credit. No more influencers. Look, leveraging this, what is that? It's leveraging individuals with large followings to advertise your products. Okay. Let's be done with it. What's in? Creators. Valuing those who produce original content and ideas that contribute to the community, right? Somebody is making something that's uniquely theirs. And it doesn't matter what it is, goofy, fun stuff, but it's theirs. Right? Somebody who creates a large following. And let's just be fun and candid for a moment. If saying this live again, but I'm just going with it. It's late at night. This is the blue hour, guys. If you're going to have an account that gets a lot of followers because your booty is there, okay? It's great. You got a lot of followers. But that number of followers and the reason they're there does not translate to selling any particular product.
Yeah.
All right. Except for one. I don't know if you're selling that. So I'm going to say this is why moving to somebody who is creator and ownership of something they do, and they have a large following because of that, that's a collaboration that we can discuss. That is something that we can look at and valuable. But the idea that just the number of followers alone translates to something, thank goodness, is not the case. It worked in very small circumstances, but in most cases, it didn't. There's huge accounts with huge following that have not sold a darn thing because they brought a lot of people for the wrong reasons. Yep. And it's not always some moral judgment. I'm not saying that either. So just for an example, there was one that was historical photos. And it was great. Lots of people liked historical photos. But then they tried to sell, I don't remember, it was like a physical product. It had nothing to do with that. Nobody was there for that. It didn't work. There's no translation. So what are we looking like? We are doing partnerships, maybe with local artists for unique product designs. We're collaborating with blog posts or doing guest spots on podcasts that share your target audience, right? There's co-hosted live streams. Woo, look at that. That platforms on Instagram or YouTube or LinkedIn. That's what it looks like. It's and you may have somebody who has such a close knit community that it doesn't need to be thousands to be effective, because you want, again, the right people. That's what matters the most. So another thing that's going out, we're kicking out social algorithms. There are so many people whose lives are dedicated to fighting an algorithm, figuring out an algorithm, beating the algorithm. In the world of heart-led entrepreneurship, it's out. We're out. We're not playing that game. So what we're going to do is, instead of trying to have our whole situation happening on social media and playing to the algorithm gods who change their mind all the time, we're going old school. Newsletters. I know it sounds weird, guys. Newsletters that directly reach your audience with curated content they care about. Couple of reasons. Now, and I know a lot of people are like, what would I do with an email? I don't get it. There are dentists who have email lists. Trust me, there is a way to communicate with your audience in a way that matters. But the difference is if I want to show up on social media and you've clicked a button that says, I want to see Tanya, there's still no guarantee that you will see what I put out, because that's how the algorithm works. But when you send a newsletter, if somebody signed up for that newsletter, guess where it goes? Right to their inbox. Direct. There's no other game they're playing. As long as you're not spammy, you're okay. So newsletter, direct communication bypasses the algorithm and predictability and make sure that your message is seen. If you've been around us for any part of time, you know we are really big on the email list because it's the closest thing to ownership you can ever have in your business, period. Okay.
Definitely.
Even if you own everybody's address, physical address, what are you going to do with that? You're not going to walk on everybody's door. Right? So come on. So what does this look like, right? This is monthly newsletters with your insights or personal stories. Maybe you have exclusive offers, right? Maybe you have a physical product. So it's more of an offer thing. We have a gal who does like a buyer's club for food. And so her newsletters look a lot like, here's a new food product we have. This is when orders are due. But it's a regular communication through newsletters. Let's highlight this cheese, right? Let's learn about the products. Reader spotlights or community highlights, feedback sections, or things that can encourage reader interaction. So newsletters over social algorithms. So this one I found very interesting. What's looking and starting to move out here is click-through rate. So measuring success by how many people click on a link. Now, this has been around for a while. Yeah, no worries, we got to head out. Probably got about 20 more minutes here. So measuring success by how many people click on a link. That was what we were doing. That's what we were focusing on. We were looking at that as a metric of success. But what we're seeing a shift, and what I would encourage you to test out is the open to write back rate. What the heck is that? People who respond to your emails. Valuing the conversations that are built through emails, that they respond and go, this was really great. I needed to hear this today. Really interesting. I had this happen, yada, yada. And starting to look at engagement metrics like the reply rates and how invested your audience is rather than just whether or not they click. True story, a couple of weeks ago, we had an issue with Google. And the only reason I recognized it as quick as I did was I'm used to my audience replying. And this particular email I felt was pretty good. I was like, I have an idea a few people are going to respond to this. And it was crickets. And I was like, okay, Tony, you're just being egotistical. Like, everyone's going to respond. But then I looked at it and we had been flagged. We had a big issue. We had to go fix a bunch of stuff. And I was like, see, I knew my people would respond. And sure enough, the next email I sent about the problem, they responded. And I know they're engaged. We don't have the biggest list, but we have a very engaged list. So what does this look like? It might look like emails ending with questions or prompts for feedback, follow-up emails, thanking them for their subscribing or their engagement, interactive email content like polls or surveys, again, what's relevant to your business, personalized email journeys based on the responses they made. Like, oh, you might have a poll that says, are you just starting your business, doing this, or scaling it? And then based on what they click, they get emails specific to them, right? There's ways to do that. I'm gonna keep moving along here. So there's that, right? So now what else is out? Optimizing the subject line. You're not sure what that is? Okay, this is where we'd spend hours to go, what's going to make them open it? And this is how we ended up with, oh gosh, what are some of the real scammy ones, Christina? Some of those, like, there used to be openers that, like, hey, Tanya, I need your calendar to ... And you're like, oh no, this is a real, and then you click it and you're like, this isn't it.
Or your appointment in 5 minutes, or you're late.
Yeah. Your appointment isn't like just to get them to open it, right?
Yep.
Or just not really. Now, I think we've all been on the super spammy side, but the over focus on that. Let's talk about, I'll tell you, let's tell you about what it is, right? The reason it's not ideal is because really, maybe we should be optimizing from the line, which means ensuring that the center actually knows who we are and wants to hear from us. So then they open it. Imagine that. Imagine just going, is this relevant? Cool. I'll keep doing what I'm doing and you keep liking it and we're going to be good. Awesome. So instead of trying to optimize this hacking of this, it's going to get real. Make sure they want to be there and that you're aligned with what they want. Then they open the emails. Now, there are some best practices. I'm going to say there are some things that can be helpful, but in a nutshell, just in that subject line, tell them what's in it for them. How to do this. 3 things you should know about that. That's one of the easiest ways to hack your subject line is tell me what's in it for me if I open it. Right? That's my simple rule of the subject line. What's in it for me? If yours is, I see these all the time, something like, why does the purple, I don't know, why is this purple all year? Like, I don't know. I don't care. Like, why are you asking me? Like, that's not a good subject line. If it was like, all the reasons why these are purple, then I'll be like, oh, if I answer that, I'm going to find out why all those things are purple. I know what's in it for me. Real much easier approach than this hacking. So a couple of things that this might look like in terms of trust. This is some of the nitty gritty stuff, right? Like consistent from names across your email campaigns. Now this is I'm not gonna say techie, but this is kind of the gritty part that you have to look in the weeds here. But some people will have you'll log into something or you'll download one of their products. This happened to me even recently. So let's just say I downloaded some from Christina. And that was a Christina, this beautiful thing. I was like, Christina, yeah, join Christina's thing. It's Christina, get my Christina thing. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna download this Christina thing. And then I get the email and it's like from her business, Redditus Marketing. I don't know Redditus Marketing right now. Right now I know Christina. Everything I'm saying Christina. That's not going to connect. She's still new in my world. So a simple way to establish trust, make sure it all says for the same thing. Just let me show it's the same place, what it is, right? Introduction emails that say, hey, this is what happens here. This is what's to expect. We call those welcome nurture sequences, right? They don't have to be elaborate. You don't have to click funnel yourself into 14 different things. No one needs to do that yet, all right? You're a whole different game plan when you're doing that. So just have a couple of emails that tell somebody what happens when you're around. Okay. Hey, if you're here, you're gonna hear from me once a week. You're gonna hear from me twice. This is what we talk about. These are some of the things we do. See you later. That alone is a huge step up from creating know, like, and trust, and way more powerful than trying to manipulate a subject line. All right. Have your sender signatures. That can be helpful as well. Those are some things. I really am picking on LinkedIn. So here's the out thing today. And I do like it. I promise you guys. I love being there. I do like hanging out. It's a fun place. It's a fun place. But like all fun places, there's some dark sides. The good old LinkedIn pitch slap. All right. We know if you don't know what a pitch slap is, it's when somebody wants to be friends with you, and within minutes, you've got their whole brochure about what they sell, or they're getting you on a sales call. So when you're using LinkedIn primarily to send unsolicited pitches, or the same thing in Sales Navigator, you're really selling yourself short. And it feels icky, I think, when you're in a heart-led space anyway. So how about this? How about linking on LinkedIn? How about engaging genuinely, sharing insights, and authentically building a network, right? Actual networking, talking to people, saying what you really want, saying what you really mean, and just being a human in that space. And so if you're a content creator, that might look like insights that you're posting about your field on there. You might be commenting thoughtfully, purposefully, intentionally on people, not hacking an algorithm and going, I have to post, I have to engage on 14 to post, and I have to comment on 9. You all know who you are. If you heard me, you're like, oh, I heard that strategy before. All right. Sharing case studies, hosting LinkedIn Live set, just doing something of value. If anyone is connected with me, I think, G, you got a message like this for me. When someone connects with me, I tell them straight up, I go, hey, thank you for reaching out. I'm really committed to authentic connections here on LinkedIn. And if you want to have a one-to-one agenda-free conversation, we can do that. If that's not your jive, that's okay, but you can go ahead and unconnect us. I'm very direct. I don't have time for it. I don't need numbers. I need people who want to be around, who want to be part of this, whatever that is. And you don't have to like me. That's okay. If you don't, it's better that we're not hanging out. So that's all right. So this LinkedIn, be LinkedIn, not LinkedIn, pitch slapped. All right. We talked about this a little bit already. The AI gimmicks, it's out, right? The flashy surface level features that don't add any value, content that just adds noise. Some people who are in the more of a tech space or SaaS space, a lot of them jumped on AI and were like, we have this with AI or that with AI, stuff that just didn't need AI. So if you're hearing yourself in that, like, we don't need to do that. And for those of us who are more using it for content, we don't want the surface level stuff that just adds noise. So we talked about this already, but utility, right? We're looking at the tools, we're looking at how to use it to amplify our voice rather than replace it. Okay, we're not needing to replace it. In fact, that voice is one of the few things we have left. All right, so make sure that you understand how it works, and you can use tangible things that are actually like helping, the AI is helping, but not just throwing it all over the place. So you might use chatbots, use it for product recommendations, automated email segmentation, data analysis. You might use it for your own research, right? A lot of things like that. I'm not going to beat that with a dead horse. We've done a lot. This one's my favorite that's out. Oh, it's been out for a while. It's not just 2024, but people are still holding on, man. Like fanny packs, they're still holding on. All right. So I know some of them are kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. So we'll talk about it. But the slick marketing, right? I like to call it fantasy marketing, but this polished, high pressure the marketing tactics. And I'm just going to say high pressure is not authentic. High pressure is not honoring. It's not serving. Because high pressure says you don't care what I need. You want to close a sale. This conversation is about you. All right. That's what this is saying. Oh, you guys love fanny packs. I know. I was my sister-in-law loves them too. Yeah, I don't know. For my waist, for my curvy Latina waist, that's never flattering on me. So I'm gonna stay on the other side. So what's in? If the slicky stuff is out, what's in? Real, authentic experiences. Things that people find genuinely valuable. Literally that. I mean, it's you're going to hear this a lot, but when it comes down to it, these are amazingly still aha moments in the business world. Wow, something I really need. A genuine article. We've lived in a space for so long. For those of you who've been, I've been in here 22 years, a space for so long that wants to gatekeep, that's so afraid of losing their information that's all they have to offer. And go, if I give it all away, I'll have nothing. If that's the case, you have a bigger problem than your information, right? Because information is free. Information is everywhere. And rarely is there something new under the sun. So it's going to be your unique voice, your unique intake, your unique way of doing it that's going to be that authentic experience. That's what you bring to the forefront. Shout the way you do it. I always tell people you have a method. You may not think it, you may think, but you do something a certain way. The way you first intake a client, the first questions you ask, the reason that you have them do this instead of that, that's a method. Learn what your method is and shout it to the mountaintop that this, you know why it's different? Because we use this method here. This is the process we use. You all have methods. We want these genuine interactions. We don't want this impersonal stuff. We don't want to feel like a number. We want to, this might look like showing our processes or showing customer experiences or Q&A, having transparency in reports. I remember a coach that used to share their bank statements because they were real focused on like income levels. And they were like, this is what I have. But I mean, heck, you can't get more transparent than that. Oh, they black out the right, numbers there. We're all going to have real great stuff. So I don't know. You can check and let me know, Christina, if you want to look on the back end, how many more of these we have, but I'll keep going along. So I'll make sure we get them all done. I tried to be reasonable. I think we're like close to the end.
I think
so this one, I love this picture, made me laugh so much. I actually found this on Canva. I was like, how do I find someone who's like too serious, but like almost annoyingly so? And sorry, whoever this guy is that took this photo, but he fit perfectly. So the buttoned up brand voice, right? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is how I always talk. Keeping this formal corporate tone in all communications. It's out. It's done, right? Like, are there circumstances where it might necessitate formality? Perhaps, yes. But in every communication, I'm going to say that the majority of humans do not actually speak like that. We don't. We speak like humans. Now, again, I'm not saying to lose and be disrespectful. You're not going to come to the CEO and be like, what's up, homie? Like, you're still going to have some things that are appropriate, but you can be you. Get that tone, get that correct tone. All right. I love this. You're singing in the shower, right? Have a relatable voice. Speak in a way that's personal, that resonates with your audience on a human level. Notice the theme here, everyone, right? It's that human part. The brand voice should mirror real conversations. What are the real things people are saying? And most of those, speak like you're talking to a friend. Maybe you have to pick which friend, right? It depends on which friend. But like you're talking to a friend, have that conversation, be real, because that's what's going to connect. And I give this example a lot. Those who have followed me, you all have heard me say this, but I see a lot of coaches in this space who talk about, I help women empower themselves to break through limiting beliefs. Nobody talks like that. Okay. There's no woman in your audience who's going, oh, if I could just break through my limiting beliefs and feel empowered. Nobody's That's not what she's saying. It may be true. A lot of us do have limiting beliefs and we do need empowerment, but it's not what they're saying. That's not how they describe it. So the more that you can come with a relatable brand voice, connecting to your actual audience, the more powerful you will be than trying to sound right or trying to sound proper or whatever that is that we're trying to do. Go back to marketing as a wall. Your actual authenticity is the most powerful thing you're going to bring. So again, what does this look like? Having a natural voice, a personable manner, right? Something that's, again, relatable, approachable. So posts that use conventional language. This one says emojis, maybe emojis. I think AI is killing that for us because all the AI generated stuff comes with like 100 emojis for some reason. I don't know who taught it that. It's like, who said this is what we want? Like someone really dropped the ball. Letter from the founder, sections and newsletters. Like big companies, this can be helpful when they feel really unattainable. Video messages or announcements for updates. Again, polls, quizzes. You'll notice again, a lot of these things are things at your fingertips. The answers aren't. It's actually more about like pulling the pile of all the nonsense we've been told over these years of the way it's supposed to be, or the way it's supposed to look, and go, oh, actually, it's just the simplicity is me. All right, that's the big thing here today, right? That's the big answer is the magic was in you all along. Okay. So, and how are we, Christina? We have a couple of these left. Are we good? We good to go?
Yeah.
You checked?
We have about 20 left.
Oh, okay. We're going to be a lot faster then. Short-term growth is out, everybody, right? No more quick wins. No more focusing on rapid expansion without thinking about sustainability. This is the downfall with the marketing, the fantasy marketing, is that you get this short-term growth and then you go, okay, we got it. And then you either go into feast or famine. So you did all this work and now you have all this delivery to do. So then you can't get your next pipeline. You can't get your next set of customers. So then that dies down, you're famine again. Or you're going to do something that's really great and let's like those pods. Oh, we got all these people and comments, but nothing actually has helped us move the needle forward. You want to be able to think about sustainability. How are you going to make this work in the long run? And it is going to be long-term branding, right? Thinking about longevity and relevancy and not just things that are going to get you in and out real quick. This is the idea of like, oh, we're going to get a six-figure launch, but we spent 99,000 on ads. All right. Okay. Well, you did make it, but not really sustainable, right? Yeah. You know that one. So content marketing strategies that educate and add value over time. Okay. So what does short-term growth look like? Short-term growth looks like a push for a quick win, or like get my secret strategy. I'm going to use that one because that was a real post I saw a couple months ago. Get my secret strategy all before midnight today. Sure, I'm going to get the big answer, right? A lot of people sign up and then they'll see that your big strategy wasn't really a big secret after all, and no one's really that excited, right? But if you're showing up regularly and educating them and adding value over time, you're right. They're not going to rush in right away. But when they're there for a while, they're going to be like, damn, this is a good place to be. I consistently look forward to those posts. I learned something new. And this is my thing is that, wow, I needed to hear that, which means you motivated them. Wow, I didn't know that, which means you educated them. Or wow, I'm going to try that, which means you activated them. Educate, activate, or motivate. If your posts aren't doing one of those three things, you're missing the mark. So the other thing we're going to do, we're going to stop telling people about our business. And what we're going to do is start to demonstrate it. We're going to show them. Show the real world applications and results that your business achieves. So Changi, that looks like teaching people what you teach, going, this is what I do. Look at this group. They were a mess and now they love each other, right? Or these are the 3 steps I do. Let me show you the 3 steps I do, right? Showing them what your business does, then going, we are a business who will help people do, but like you could say that till the cows come home, but it's never going to land the way it will when they can see it in action, whatever that might mean for your business. All right. So again, I think we kind of get what this is. It looks like video testimonials, before and after, day in the life. There's things that make it tangible. The other thing that's out, no more either or mindset, black and white, without considering the complexities of a situation. What the heck do I mean by that? Embrace the subtleties and different perspectives to make more informed decisions. right? Complexity leads to better problem solving and decision making than the oversimplified either or mindset. This one's a little more intangible, but I think the reason I wanted to have it in here was that, again, in business, we get these quick, like, I had a client come to me once, they're like, I hate Twitter, but if you tell me I got to be on Twitter, like, I'm going to do it. And I'm like, anyone who tells you you need to be where you hate as a business owner, is the wrong advice already. This black and white thinking that there's just a way to do it and a way not to do it is crap. Excuse my language. It's nighttime, right? I'm getting wild. It's not good, and it's not helping us. And so the more that you're able to understand that there is complexity in this, there is no right way, the more honestly you'll learn to trust yourself. And while there are core principles in business, the more that you learn to trust yourself, you're probably a lot better than you think. And those ideas are going to be where the innovation comes from. So I'm going to kind of skip through these for the time. You need the slides, we need the slides. But the other thing is speed, right? This is a huge thing, man. Speed. I got to get going. I'm behind. This is a allergy, I was going to say, that we have already as entrepreneurs, because we're future focused. We're always looking ahead, as we should be. Problem is, we don't look back to see how far we've come. So we always have the gap. We always feel behind. But then we're also surrounded by a place that, man, it encourages, rewards, and begs for speed, right? All the marketing this weekend, build your business like this and get 5 clients. What is the one that I always see? 15K every month, with our new system, 3 clients, a lot of speed, rushing the planning, rushing the execution, and burnout. We all know that's where most of that lands. Business isn't fast, period. Any overnight success that you saw took 3 to 5 years in the making, period. Show me any overnight success and I will show you how long it took, okay? There is no such thing. Slow strategy, fast execution. That is what's in. Taking the time to thoughtfully plan. Yes, get there, get details, but then move on it. Do not sit on it. All right. This is what we want to do. Act quickly and decisively, but plan thoroughly. Because that considered strategy followed by swift execution is what's going to succeed. And this is why I just threw a little kung fu in there, because it's a big part of what we learn in there. Is the people who hold their stance and they're holding all the power in their arms and their hands, and they're draining their energy that whole time. So by the time the quick move is needed, you've been using up all that power. But instead, if I'm loose and I'm soft and I wait and I know where I'm going and I know what I'm headed, when it's time to execute, I have a very quick punch. That's what we want to do. We want to do kung fu. Okay, so that's what it is. So this looks like, now this is not something that a lot of people have in their business. They think this is only for big businesses. No. This is for you. Entrepreneurs, if you're not doing this, solopreneurs, if you're not doing this, come into our community, because this is the stuff we're doing on a regular basis. What am I talking about? Quarterly strategic planning. Okay. What am I looking at for April, May, and June right now? If you don't already know, if you haven't thought about it, now's the time. Otherwise, it's not going to pan out the way you want it to, right? Are you looking at project management? Are you organizing things out? Are you looking realistically at the time you have to execute things so you can have a powerful strategy? If you're not doing this, it's time to be in a place that does, okay? This is not saved for the big boys. This is for you, right? Reflection and learning from what we've done before to move ahead is actually key to our small businesses. This one was fun. So what's out? Being nice, pleasant in a superficial way, often without real consideration, right? And I actually found this photo. I wrote fake and I was like, oh, it's perfect. Very fake. I was like, yeah, they had a photo for it. But this is, oh gosh, man, I was in a Facebook group that will remain nameless, very large Facebook group though, connected to moms. So the amount of blogs that were like, one time life was so hard and I was this, but girls, you can do it. And really, and by the way, here's my discount code. It was all just a ploy, right? Of this deep-hearted thing to be nice and caring to get there. So like, stop it. We see through it. Stop telling me you want to be friends in LinkedIn. Just tell me, hey, I think we could connect or collaborate. Just tell me what it is. So let's stop the fake nice. Let's be kind, right? And kindness sometimes is calling the elephant out of the room, right? Genuine kindness that demonstrates real care and consideration for others. I do that every time in my calls by letting people know this is a safe place. I'm not going to chase after you for a sale. If this is aligned for you, we'd love to have you. And if not, it's okay to say no. That's the place that I infuse kindness. And you know what? People will say no, but they won't disappear. Right? A lot of us have an issue with they say they're interested and then they disappear. I don't have that problem because I say, it's okay. I tell them before they think about it, look, if it doesn't work, it's all right. I'd love to hear it. And I'd love to cheer for you to get closer to what you do need. Right? I'm kind. I'm not saying I'm the most amazing person, but I am kind in this one. All right. So true kindness builds a positive brand and image and encourages loyal customer. Way better than any superficial is ever going to be. So whether that's in your practices, whether that's in your policy, maybe it's in the way that your payments are booked up or laid out. Maybe it's just the way that you explain things. There's a lot of ways to be kind in our business, and they require very little effort sometimes. Oh, is this almost the end? I think it's almost the end, isn't it? Yay!
Yeah.
I did it quick. Oh my gosh.
I think this is the last one. I think.
So what's out? 365. What do I mean by that? The hustle, everyone. Oh my God, there's only 365. I gotta get it all done. Ah! There's enough time. There really is enough time, and you're exactly where you're supposed to be. There's 366 days, okay? Approach each day as an opportunity with an extra day's worth of effort and innovation added daily, okay? Or annually, when you say that. That this extra day, just the idea that there is enough time, it is going to be okay. It just reduces this franticness. We make better decisions. We're clear on where we're going. This is the new way of doing things this year. This is how we connect with, yes, the advances of technology, and yet we don't have to lose our soul, and we don't have to take anyone else's. This can be enjoyable. This can be, fun to do. Will there be hard times? Heck yeah. Are there times it requires you to sprint? Yeah, that's the hard part. That's the long game. But if you know you're playing the long game, then guess what? There is time for vacation. Whatever that may mean for you. There's time to relax. There's time to enjoy because life is happening right now, regardless of where your business is. Don't miss out on it. All right. Don't miss out on it. Oh, look, there's a cute picture of us. So thank you all so much. I think that might be it. Oh, you have all kinds of goodies here. She's so data. She's
Yeah, that's too much. Yeah.
Too much stuff. But if we need it.
Too much.
So with that, what are some takeaways? I'm just going to call on y'all that are here. So G, how are you feeling? I know you got some fun today. What's a good takeaway that you have?
Hey guys, I've got so many notes here.
Aw.
I love that the out is the influencers and in is the creators. I've always thought it's just like in anything, you can pay to play. And
Yeah.
I work with so many people that were just, their thing is, how do I get to 10,000 followers? And I would equate it to like a music industry, like from a band. How can I sell 10,000 albums? I'm like, start selling one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get one fan that loves you, and that will turn into 10. So I love working and how we're connecting everything through LinkedIn is so much more authentic than all this crap on these other platforms of these influencers. So I'm really embracing the creator side, and I love the fact that just being exactly who you are instead of all this marketing bullshit that everybody's been talking about. And my last one is chat. What I do with chat is I write it in my tone, but then I pop it into AIA and I let it work it, because sometimes it does have some cool stuff, but then it'll say the stupidest stuff, and I'll be like, okay, well, revise and delete that and put this and that. And so I think with chat or any AI, I think it's about getting a balance.
Absolutely.
We can't rely on it
Absolutely.
100%. We can't be, blind to it either, or we're going to be left behind.
Yeah,
So,
and that's the thing.
Yeah.
G, you have it just right. It's a tool. And I think
Yeah.
the ones that go in and say, just be me, that's where we miss out, because it cannot be you. But if
Yeah.
a little of us is there with an assistant, that's still us, right? That's still our direction, our voice. If I hire somebody to help me, It's
Yeah.
still my direction and my voice, right? If we have a ghostwriter, it's still my story, right? Whatever that might be. And if we recognize that that's what it is, it's not a replacement, it's an amplifier, right? So it's able to maybe articulate an idea that you had, you just couldn't land it. And you're like, that's what I was trying to say. But it's in G's way, right? It's in your way. So yes, it's a great tool. Like we're not against that. We're not against I love my husband calls ChatGPT my boyfriend because I spend a lot of time with it. Okay. So like that's, we're all for it, but it is recognizing the value of it, recognizing that. And I think the other thing you hit there, G, is the tone. Your tone matters so much because it really is the thing that's you online. Because not every single person who you work with or buys from you or interacts with you is going to have a one-to-one conversation. So the more that you can nail that tone and consistency in your writing and your messaging, that's going to be your closest version to really amplifying the you-ness. And it's going to be your unique selling proposition. Because other people are going to say they can do what you do, but there's only one G. There's only one that does it your way, does it with your story, is based where you're based, all of those things that make it. So absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. I love
Thank
it. How
you.
about Chang'e?
Yeah.
Chang'e, I know
Thanks,
some of
guys.
this is new, some of this is old for you.
Oh, there are plenty of new stuff. And it's also like really nice because I mean, this, pitch slappers out and building connections are in. I particularly love that one because it's just, I mean, that's also from like a consumer perspective. That's also how I prefer to purchase my stuff. I really want to kind of have a connection first, check out the vibes and all that. And honestly, like whoever just pitch slaps me in like minute zero, like just gets blocked with the speed of
Done.
light. It's just
Yeah.
And the other one I really like is also the show Not Just Tell, because especially in my space, like in intercultural training and coaching, there's so many people who I just like they talk and talk and talk and talk, but there's not much action.
Yeah.
So that's something that has been bothering me for a while. So I do like that.
Yes, and it's on its way out. It's not going to work, and that's the thing is this. All of these things have a shelf life, like a lot of these kind of hacks and things, they have a very short shelf life because what happens is the next person catches on and they go, I thought this was, I'm not going to fall for that again. And the more and more weary that we are of our human interactions, the more and more it's going to be important to almost flash the ID card and go, I'm really human. I actually really do care. And then they go, check it, double check with the light. All right, come in. And that gate's going to get tougher, and again, I think those who are going to suffer more are the ones who haven't learned how to show up as themselves. They're the ones who are just going to keep running from next hack to the next hack. And it's going to be tough. And they're going to be spinning. They're going to learn a lot of skills, a lot of random things. But I know being me is a lot easier. And I don't have to maybe have as many of those things and hacks and skills if I can just really harness and show up and identify what that is. And so it's what we all have. So awesome. Well, thank you all for being here live with us in the room. Those of you sticking around watching us, hope this has been helpful for you. We will be sharing the replay in our community. So if you're not in there, get in there so you can get the replay, resources, all of those things. It's a great place where we also don't hound you and you can just hang out and be served. So thank you all. And we can just unmute and say goodbye, I guess. So.
See you guys. Ciao.
All right.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
week.
Later.
Bye.
Thanks for coming.